Welcome to Naresh Technologies. I'm Bangar Raju and this is the part 2 video of our interfaces. In the part 1 video of the interfaces, I explained about what is an interface, how to define an interface and how to implement the abstract methods of an interface under the child classes. So this is what I just been talking in the previous class. Okay, so what we learned in the first video, what is an interface? What's an interface? An interface is also a user-defined type. An interface is also a user-defined type like a class, but can contain only abstract methods in it. So this is the first point what we learned. Okay, how to define an interface? How to define a interface. So very simple. This is the syntax to define the interface. Modifiers, interface, and name of the interface. And in this, we are going to declare some abstract member declarations. Abstract member declarations. Okay. So this is what. And also, I was just telling you how to implement the methods of an interface under the child class. Okay, so interface members are implemented by the child class of the interface, all these particular things. Well, today I want to talk about this. What multiple inheritance with interface. What I mean to tell, what I'm just going to tell you right now is multiple inheritance with interface. See, listen. If you have watched my inheritance videos, in the inheritance videos, I was telling about a set of rules and regulations that has to be followed. And in the fifth rule of the inheritance, I explained about the types of inheritance. What are the types of inheritance? As per the standards of object-oriented programming, we have 5 different types of inheritances. Single, multi-level, hierarchical, multiple and hybrid. So 5 different types of inheritances. One is single. Second one is multi-level, third one is hierarchical, fourth one is multiple and the fifth one is hybrid. So this is single, this is multi-level, this is hierarchical, this is hybrid and this is multiple. So like this, we have 5 different types of inheritances: single, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid and multiple. And when I was explaining about inheritance with classes, I said it. In C# we have a support only for single, multi-level and hierarchical inheritances, but hybrid and multiple inheritances are not supported. But hybrid and multiple inheritances are not supported. We don't have, basically we don't have support for multiple entities. Multiple is not supported, hybrid is also not supported. The reason is, hybrid is a combination of multi-level, hierarchical and multiple. What is that? If you notice, class 1, under that class 2, under that class 4, looks like multi-level. And class 1, under that class 2, class 3. And here also class 1, under that class 2, class 3, looks like hierarchical. And you see multiple, class 1, class 2, class 3. Here, class 2, class 3, class 4. This looks like multiple. And that's what, it's a combination of multi-level, hierarchical and multiple. So, hybrid is just a combination. So ignoring for the time being, single, multi-level, hierarchical. These 3 are supported through the classes, but multiple is not supported through classes. This is what I said. If multiple is not supported through classes, and at the same time, hybrid is also not supported. Why? It becomes hybrid if you have multiple combination there only. But if multiple not supported, hybrid is also not supported. Okay, fine. But a new point I want to tell you right now here, what that is, even if multiple inheritance is not supported through inheritance, even if multiple inheritance is not supported through classes in C#, it is still supported through interfaces. What is the meaning of it? A class can have one and only one immediate parent class. A class can have one and only one immediate parent class. A class can have one and only one immediate parent class. What is it? Immediate parent class. Say class 2. There is one immediate parent. For class 3, there is one immediate parent, that is class 2. And for the class 2, one immediate parent, class 1. Here also, class 2 or class 3, one immediate parent. But when you come to class 3, there is one immediate parent or two immediate parents. There are two immediate parents here. So this is not supported. This is not supported. That's what a class can have, one and only one immediate parent. So this multiple is not at all supported because there are more than one immediate parents here. But here there is only one immediate parent that is going to be allowed for us. Okay? Whereas the same class can have any number of interfaces as its parent. Any number of interfaces as its parent. That is, multiple inheritance is supported in C# through interfaces. You can watch. I have a class and this class can have one and only one immediate parent class. But at the same time, the same class can have n number of interfaces as its parent. How many interfaces are present here? Any number, set of. When I say set of, it's not single, any number of interfaces. So multiple inheritance is supported through this interfaces. So that is the important point I want to make you clear. Okay? But you'll have a doubt still, why multiple inheritance is not supported through classes and how is it supported through interfaces? So what will be our question here? Why multiple inheritance is not supported through classes and how is it supported through interfaces? Why not with classes and how with interfaces? Okay, let me explain it. Multiple inheritance is not supported through classes because we come across ambiguity problems. What are the ambiguity problems? If you watch this picture, I have a class and this class is going to inherit from two classes, class 1 and class 2. In both these two classes, I have a method. What is the method? Test. I have a method called as test. So means these two test methods are getting inherited to class 3. Means class 3 contains two test methods in it now with the same name and signature. No class can contain multiple methods with the same name and signature. If there is present, ambiguity problem will start. There is an ambiguity problem. Why? A class cannot contain two methods with the same name and signature. And don't forget one thing, once we inherit, every parent class member will now become the child class member. So automatically these two members are inherited to class 3 and there is a clash between the two methods. That is an ambiguity what starts. But with interfaces we don't have this problem. The reason is, tomorrow I have a class and with the two parent interfaces containing the same method, but still I don't have an ambiguity problem. The reason is, here the class is providing these two methods to the third class. These two classes are providing this method to the third class for consuming the method. For consuming the method means directly you can call it. But here the two interfaces are containing these two methods and requesting the class not to consume the method but to implement the method. But to implement the method. Consumption will cause you ambiguity, not implementation. And remember, the interface is asking you to implement, please implement my method. Which interface? Both interfaces are asking to implement the method. Ambiguity will never arise in this context. Okay, I'll show this practically. To demonstrate this, let me add two interfaces in the project, two new interfaces in the project. I'll add a new file, simply call it as a multiple inheritance test. Okay, my class name is multiple inheritance test. But on the top of it, I'm just going to add two interfaces. Interface 1 and also interface 2. Two interfaces. Fine. Now in both these two interfaces, let us define a method, void test, void test, void test. In both the two interfaces, I am just going to define a method void test and void test. Okay. Now this class I want to inherit from interface 1, comma interface 2, both interfaces. But here you are getting a red color underline there. Why you are getting a red color underline? Error, because the method is not implemented. And now I am not giving any implementation for the method right now. Static void main, and trying to simply write console.readline, nothing more. I am not even creating an instance or doing anything. Let me set this class as my startup object. Multiple inheritance test. When I run this, I get two errors. What are the two errors? The two errors, what I am going to get here is the two methods. What two methods? Interface 1.test, interface 2.test are not implemented by multiple inheritance test class. The two methods are not implemented by the multiple inheritance test class. It is not implemented. Okay, that is the error what I am just going to get. They are the two errors what I am just going to get in this particular place. Okay, fine, well and good. I am getting the two errors. So right now I need to implement this. Two times it is showing you this is not implemented. Interface 1.test is not implemented. Interface 2.test is not implemented. Now let us implement. Come here. So I am going to implement this method now. Public void test console.writeLine interface method implemented in child class. Interface method implemented in child class. So this is what I am just doing. I am trying to write it over there. Interface method implemented in child class. Now see, both the two errors are removed off here. There are no errors, and if I run this, I will not get any output because I did not call the method, but still the code is getting compiled successfully without any error. You can watch. My code is compiled without any errors. Why? Because it has given two errors. We did not implement interface 1.test, we did not implement interface 2.test, but still when I implemented the method only for one time, both are not going to show the error. What happened? We will be having a doubt. Two errors, no, two times implementation has to be done, but only a single implementation has been done. How the problem has been resolved? See, that is what I said you earlier. What the interface is asking us? The interface is asking us to implement the method, not consuming the method. The interface is asking us to implement the method. Who is it asking? It is asking the class to implement the method. So now, what did the class do? Implement the method. But your doubt will be, this implementation is for interface 1 or interface 2? What I say is both. Why? Because interface 1 don't know anything about interface 2, and interface 2 don't know anything about interface 1. Interface 1 don't know any method name or anything that is present in interface 2, and interface 2 don't know anything that is present in interface 1. So now interface 1 looks into the class. When it looks into the class, the method is implemented. The method is implemented. It is happy now. My method is implemented. Interface 2 looks into the class. It also finds the method implemented, and this is also happy. My method is implemented. Array means we are simply speaking, we are cheating both the two interfaces by implementing it only for one time. So for interface 1 I am telling this is your method. For interface 2 also we are telling this is your method only. They are not aware of each other. Because they are not aware of each other, both are thinking my method is implemented in the child class. That's it. That's why we never get any ambiguity problem in this. Okay. Now call it here. You can just call it now. Multiple inheritance test obj is equals to new multiple inheritance test. Okay. Next obj dot, the method name is test. Call it and execute your code. It executes. Interface method, or better I'll call it as interfaces method, because two interfaces, that's why I just changed it, nothing special. Interfaces method implemented in child class. That's it. That is why we don't have ambiguity. We are not consuming, we are implementing. Ambiguity arises only when you are consuming, not when you are implementing. And see, and this one, yes, this picture. What am I doing? I am implementing. What am I doing? Consuming. Consuming will cause you ambiguity. Implementing will not cause you ambiguity. And one more thing, you can also implement this method in another way. There is another way of implementation. What is the other way? Watch. I don't want to change this. Just simply let me write a method called void show. Another simple method. Show is the name of the method. Again error. Again same problem. What is this? The method show is not implemented. Two errors. Two times. Now I need to implement. How to implement? We already saw that. We can implement it like this. There is a chance to implement the methods separately for each interface also. There is a chance to implement the method separately under each interface also. How is it? Watch. Interface 1 dot. Okay. Interface 1 dot. I'm sorry. Show. In the last video, I was just demonstrating of two ways how you can implement the methods of an interface under the child class. This is one way and this is the other way. Prefix the interface name before and write. And in this scenario, you should not use public. Same way, void interface 2 dot show. Interface 1 dot show, interface 2 dot show in both the two places. Okay. And here I am writing, what's it? Console dot write line declared in interface 1 and implemented in class. And exactly in the same way, I am going to write this in the second one also. Implemented in class. Like this, I am just going to write this in both the two interfaces. I am going to write this in both the two interfaces now. Declared in interface 1 and declared in interface 2. Okay, now come here. Now starts the real problem. What is the problem? How to call the method? Because two show methods are there. How to call? Obj dot. When you look at this, IntelliSense is not showing the show method at all. IntelliSense is not showing the show method at all. It is not going to show you the show method. Then you will be wondering how to call this. Very simple. How to call? In the last video, I also explained you how to create a reference of an interface by using the child class instance. Whatever interface name, first interface, interface 1, I1 is equals to obj. What is I1? I1 is a reference of interface 1. Same way, interface 2. I2 is equals to obj. I2 is a reference of the interface 2 created by using the child instance. And now here we can call I1 dot show and here we can call I2 dot show. Now also we don't have ambiguity. Why? I1 represents interface 1. So it is going to execute the show method of I1 and this is going to execute the show method of I2. So that is interface 2. You can see there. So there are two ways how you can just go for implementing the members of your interface under the child class. If at all you come across an ambiguity problem, this is the mechanism what you can follow and implement the methods. Okay. And here one more thing I want to show you. When you are writing manually, you are writing all this code. Just a minute, let me cut it and I will just paste it here. Manually we are writing the code. Without writing the code manually, you can also perform this type of implementation also. What's it? Right click. See, the methods are not implemented. Now right click on the interface 1. Once you right click on the interface 1, it will show you an option. Quick actions and refactoring. Select this. When you select this, it will show you two options. Implement interface explicitly. What is implement interface? Watch this. If you say implement interface, public void show, public void test, like this it shows you. Another option is there, implement interface explicitly, like this it will show you. Void interface 1 dot show, void interface 1 dot test. Means it will include that. If I select this, it is going to include that things. See there, included. Is to included. Delete, again, right click, quick actions and refactoring. Now I am using the first option, implement interface. You see there, public void show. Earlier void interface 1 dot show, void interface 1 dot test. Now public void show, public void test. So that's what, like this we have two options. We can just use the IntelliSense and automatically generate the things over there. Okay. So we have already written up the code, but next time you do, you can follow the particular process. But as of right now, I'm just again copying all this code, come back and paste it over in the class. Yes. So this is the first way how you can implement duplicate methods of the interface under, or the ambiguous methods of the interface under your class. And this is the second way how we can implement ambiguous methods of the parent interface under the child classes. Option number 1 is implementation. Option number 2 is explicit implementation. What is the explicit implementation? Prefix the interface name before and write it. And here just implementation. So in this case, interface 1, interface 2, both are going to assume the test method belongs to them only. But here very clear, this show method belongs to interface 1 and this show method belongs to interface 2. So like this, we never come across an ambiguity problem when we work with inheritance. So remember, multiple inheritance is supported with interfaces. If you just going to use it, there are two ways of implementation. And second one, explicit implementation. But if you go for implementation, you can call by using child class instance. If you go for explicit implementation, you cannot call by using child class instance. You must again create a reference of the interface, and with the interface reference, we need to call it. Okay. Thank you for watching the video. For more videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Naresh IT.